Okay, let's get this underway, man. Let's get this underway. So, Sensual Sundays, ditch the loop, welcome to it. This is my first live, and I just figured let me tap in on this whole situation, the state of our sexual health. This is something that not a lot of people tap into, not a lot of people talk about, but it is an actual thing. In the last 5 years, the sale of lube has been steadily going up by 1 to 2% on a yearly basis. I'll say that again. The sales of lubrications have been going up for 1 to 2% steadily for the last 5 years. Now this tells me that a lot more people are using lube, and a consistent rise of 1 to 2% might seem like it's nothing, but when you just consider that if it's something that's going up by 1 to 2%, that's steady growth, meaning that it has what do you call this? It has a steady clientele, right? Meaning that it's become a household brand. Lubrication has become that thing that it's become almost like an essential in a household when you put it in that sense. And what else? Like I've used lube before. I've tried to use lube for like massaging. It's trash. It's trash. The only thing that you will ever use lube for is for sex. And the reason why you even want to use lube during sex is that, well, your lady has run dry, or or you're a sex worker and your client needs to slide in smoothly. So that's also that aspect. But right now I'm just trying to focus on the aspect where you have umuntu wako and you guys always use lube. Now I just need to make this super clear that for anyone to experience pleasure, like even you as a guy, and then for you to experience pleasure during sex, you have to be aroused, right? Yes, you can experience like that titillation, while you're still unerect, right? And that pleasure can bring you to an erection, which is an arousal. Now, arousal is when a man gets an erection and a woman gets wet. That is arousal. And then from arousal is where now, through the mechanics of sex, sliding in, sliding out, going to the left, right, stirring that part up, whatever technique that you use, you eventually get your woman to climax, orgasm, multiple times, one time, squirting, all of those things that happen, right? But now all of this needs what? It needs arousal from the woman. So if a woman is not aroused, then what pleasure are you deriving from sex? None. It's only pain. It is only pain. I want you to imagine yourself, or let me see, like just take your hand, right? Like if you take your hand and just rub your palm across your hand, right? Now do this on dry skin. Do this on dry skin. It becomes like your your hand builds up heat quickly, and that's also because of the dryness of the skin. But now also, if you keep doing that, it eventually becomes painful, right? Now, as opposed to if you had something like a shea butter on or Vaseline on, and you do that, it's like your hand slides smoothly down, Or in the instance of like you're trying to give someone a massage and their back is dry, you see what happens is that it's almost like your fingers aren't able to actually maneuver properly. It's almost like they get stuck sometimes. But now, that's mainly because the skin is dry. Your palms are also dry most of the time. Like this part of your skin is mostly dry almost all of the time. And then if the back is dry, you have to put in some massage oil. You know what I mean? Put in some massage oil so that you can actually maneuver and slide more efficiently on the body. This is now in the instance of giving someone a massage. True. So in that instance, then, you know, we have to then think what's happening in the vagina. If the vagina is dry and you're sliding in raw, skin to skin, it's painful. Now, if the vagina is dry and you're sliding in with a condom, initially it might not be too painful because condoms are like naturally lubricated, but that lubrication, it's like after like a few strokes, maybe 20-30 strokes, it's done with. It's done with, it's over with, you know. And that's mainly because why? It's because we have to remember that the skin absorbs. So when you have, the vagina wall absorbs moisture. As much as it secretes moisture, it also absorbs moisture. So when you slide in with your condom, with your dog, you know, just after a few strokes, it becomes irritating to the vagina and it becomes painful to the holder of the vagina, to the woman. Let me not say the holder, to the woman. It becomes very irritating to the woman. And now this in itself, you know, would then constitute, for me, this is like no different to rape, you know. Although it is consensual, but that's what's happening, you know. You are effectively having sex when the conditions do not allow for you guys to have sex, but you continue to have sex. Would you have sex with a man whose penis is non-erect? You wouldn't. Imagine like a flappy jack. Yeah, I know you might be tempted with someone who has like like a large phallus, a large penis. Yeah, they can probably slide in, you know, but they won't be enjoying it. You know, they won't be enjoying it how they would when they actually had an erection. So now you as a guy, you know yourself that, hey, if I don't have an erection, sex is not happening. And that's because you are not aroused. And there's 3 stages to our arousal. As men, there's also three stages to a woman's arousal. But now, we can have sex if we aren't fully aroused, meaning that we maybe have 2 stages up, meaning that we might get hard, we might get the heat factor in, but we might not get the growth factor in, you know, or we might get the growth factor in and the hard factor in, but we might not have the heat factor in. You know, we can have sex. A woman also, doesn't necessarily need to go through all of the arousal, all of the arousal steps, or stages. Yeah, all of the arousal stages, for them to have sex. But if the vagina is dry, there will be no pleasure in the act of sex. So hence came in the whole thing with the lubrication. Lubrication to women is like a man taking something that will support his penis. Like basically, like if this is your penis, you basically like put sticks around it so that it's straight and that it can enter the vagina. That is what lubrication is as far as it's concerned to women. It's literally, I don't know, lubrication was made for men. and it was probably made by men, to say that I don't care if your vagina is dry. I don't care if you aren't aroused for us to have sex. I don't care. I must still slide in, but I know that it's not nice sliding in. It doesn't feel nice on my penis when I slide into you and you are dry. So I got this thing called the lubrication, which I just put on my dick, apply it in your vagina, and I slide in. Story continues, right? And now, even as a guy, I never really thought about it in that sense. You know, I've had sex where, you know, a woman gets dry after like the first round. The first round is nice, it's all fine and dandy, you know, and even maybe sometimes before the first round is even over, she's already really run dry. So we have to put out the lubrication, we have to keep it close for us to have like the second round and third round, you know, so on and so on. But now you have to realize that that's like that's played out. That's really played out in a major way, you know, and it just really shows like how unaware we are of what we are doing, and how unaware of or how uneducated we are as far as sex, and how really thoughtless we are. Like, if we really think about it, we really aren't very we aren't thoughtful of or considerate of the other person. I mean, sex is sacred. I know, like, not a lot of people will understand it, but sex is very sacred. And not to say that now, man, I just don't know how to break it down for you, but that is the gist of it, basically. So hence the title for Sensual Sundays, the first Sensual Sundays, Ditch the Lube. We need to start fixing this arousal issue that women are experiencing. Now, the first thing that you can do is that you need to understand what causes sexual dysfunction. What causes sexual dysfunction? There's health factors, there's psychological factors, there's spiritual factors. These are the things that causes sexual dysfunction. Much so like with a man, when you see that advert and they're talking about erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, that is sexual dysfunction. It's just that they went specifically, they just made it more specific for men, but they don't talk about it for women. It's almost like they're sidelined in this discussion, you know. And this has created a what do you call this? This basically created a culture where now, you had a situation where I was also part of this culture where, you know, I would have sex with a woman, and, you know, I'd smash until she got dry, and, you know, she would tap out because she's dry, and I felt pride. I felt like I was super proud of myself in that moment, like, man, like, beat my chest on over that shit. That's the culture that it created. Now, because of the lack of understanding, I thought like I was doing the right thing, like, but in all actuality, man, I was playing. You know, I was playing for real, man. Like, the only reason a woman should tap out is because she's just having too much orgasms, and in her tapping out, she's tapping out, but she's still wet, still wet. You did. Can you feel me though on that one? Baby girl is still wet as fuck, and she's tapping out because she caught too many orgasms. Now that's something to be proud of as a man, and also for her, that's something to be proud of, because we cannot discuss the matter that it is also the woman's responsibility to bring herself to an orgasm as much as the man is there to assist. I'll say that again. It is the woman's responsibility to bring herself to an orgasm, and the man is just there to assist. And being an assistant in this whole matter of having to bring her to an orgasm, well, I'm just saying, man. There's a lot that we need to learn, and using lubrication, there's no way you're going to bring a woman to orgasm when she's lubricated, because there is no arousal. So who's that now? Megan. How you doing, Megan? But yeah, you actually joined in when I was about to actually close out. But do tap in next week Sunday, 10 o'clock, same time. But yeah, so with that said, just the lubrication, hit up the YouTube channel, start detoxing your body so that you can actually start unlocking and start unblocking your organs, so that you can actually start experiencing arousal properly. This is now physically. Now, as far as mentally, this is something that you might need to sit with a counselor, a therapist. You might want to get some Reiki work done to release any traumatic or any trauma that's been stored up in your cells. That'll allow you to be more comfortable when you're with your partner, and it's really you being comfortable as a woman that allows you to actually freely release your waters. Because when we study the Taoism, or we study Tao, and we study like other ancient teachings, we see the woman as a water element and we see the man as a fire element. And if your waters are burnt out, energy cannot move through properly. You cannot experience the orgasms that you can experience as a woman. From multiple orgasms to full body orgasms to a spiritual awakening due to an orgasm called the ESR. I forget what the whole name is called. Hold up. Let me just get this book real quick. The ESR. Hold on. Give me a sec. Slow down. I forget what this is though. Jump into the appendix. Yes, I'll just put up. Okay, so the ESR being the expanded sexual response. And I was reading from The Holy Grail of Orgasm by Master Yao N. Morris. Great read for the gents and for the ladies, just to take your sexual game to the next level. But yeah, so the point that I was trying to make with this video, dishing the lube, is basically that there's no way you can have sex with someone and use lubrication and think that it's a loving exchange, because the woman is not experiencing orgasms, also because she's not properly aroused, hence the use of lubrication. The only people that actually should be using lubricants is people that are in the sex work industry. But if you have a partner, you definitely shouldn't be using lubricants at all. Once your waters have run dry, it becomes a very painful experience, and it's adding to that whole thing where you just adding more pain, and more associating pain with pleasure, and you're storing all of that in your cellular body, and it's just basically telling your body that you enjoy trauma. So you basically set a vibration for your body that allows you, or just sets you up to attract traumatic events to your life, painful events to your life. It'll be almost like you live for the pain. Although pain is good for you to be able to experience pleasure, the moment that you do pierce into the other side, like a lot of people have it's almost like a paradigm shift, where now you've been living in so much pain and you've gotten used to living in so much pain that when you finally do experience pleasure, it either puts you into like a Jerusalem syndrome type of a mindset, where now you almost like lose your mind, because this pleasure is such a, how do you call this, it's such a foreign thing, it's such a new thing to you, or you can embrace it. You can embrace it, and it brings you to tears, tears of joy. But at the end of the day, when you are having sex with your partner, you need to be able to bring yourself to an orgasm as a woman, and also as a guy, bring yourself to an orgasm, but also share in the experience properly, meaning that you need, as much as we dance in a relationship, and we come together and we have our own tasks set aside, and we have our own uniqueness, and we come together and we basically come into a union and build a relationship, which is an actual thing. We basically replicate that through the act of sex. It's just that now with sex, it brings more bonding into it. You can manifest with sex if done properly, but that's a topic for another day. I'm definitely tapping next week Sunday again, 10 o'clock South African time. I don't know what that would mean for anyone else, but yeah, thank you for tapping in. Thank you, Megan, for staying for so long.